Well, I'd like to thank y'all for coming and taking the time out to come out here, and especially for the young people to come up here and be a part of this, and for the elders who definitely felt you need to come, and for everyone who just came to support this cause. Again, my name is Gerald Childress, and for myself, I believe that for the most part, we all done heard about and know about drugs to a certain extent, or to an extensive extent. Even the younger ones, because they say that a lot of times, for the youth, that we are nowhere close to being as crazy as they think we are, right? Nowhere close to being crazy as they think that you are, right? And a lot of times, as we get older, we look at a lot of the things that our younger people do as being extreme, or it lacks any kind of rationale or understanding. But, we think about when we was young, our elders looked at us the same way, So, one of the things I really want to get into first is about drugs, right? This whole idea, this concept of drugs. I looked at the definition earlier, and it says that drugs is basically something that you take in and it causes a psychological effect on you, right? And we talking about the kind of drug, whether it be alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, whatever, right? Okay, that's one type of drug, right? But then if you think about drug in the concept sense, a drug is something that deals with the symptom of a problem, right? Now they say that everything has a seed. Everything that you see produced is manifested through some kind of thought. The thought within itself is a seed. And when you think about something like, let me give you an example, a cold, right? They say that the cold itself, when you sneeze or you run a nose or you coughing up the mucus and this and that there, that within itself is actually your body curing itself. And the reason why we got to go and take something in addition to that is because in most cases, we don't have, the body doesn't have the nutrients it needs to fight it off itself. And it's mainly because of the food and the water and things that we have in society today, right? So, man who has created the problem has to find an answer to the problem, which all evolves around money. Now, this whole thing again, they say that for the most part, right? You get to read and study different things. They say that for the most part, people who make drugs, they actually could probably cure the problem in most cases. But it wouldn't make money sense. So instead of curing the problem, we're going to just give you something to deal with the symptom. And while we're dealing with the symptom, 9 times out of 10, it's going to create another problem. All right. Now let's go into this thing about what the problem may be. We say, what makes a person gravitate to smoking or drinking or whatever the case may be, right? A lot of times when we're young, like the judge said, that when we first tried it the first time, hopefully the experience is so bad that you don't want to try it again, but 9 times out of 10 that ain't the case. My first time when I was drinking, I was with some older people, and when I was growing up, I always hung around older people. So the group I was with, we ride and we drank before. My first drink, my first conscious drink that I done it myself and when it got to beer was a Magnum. And it was such a strong drink. And I drank the whole 40. First time. Threw up like I was crazy. See, God made the body in such a way that where anything that it takes in that ain't supposed to be there, your body gonna reject it. Think about a person who smoked a cigarette for the first time. Young people like to see that. Sometimes our parents go like that for me on the stove. So we bring it back to them. Think they don't know we done puffed 2 times. Yeah. But when you first do that, you almost cough your lungs out if you inhale it. So a lot of times we ain't inhale it, but we think we are. But when you really smoke a cigarette for the first time, you're gonna feel like you're about to die. Because your body is created to do that. But like again, like the judge said, in most cases, that don't be enough. We try it again. So when I say what makes us gravitate to using it again, you have to say it's the influence around us. It's a direct influence and it's an indirect influence. It's people who are directly connected to us, and it's things that we see. It's things that we hear. We connect this with that, and certain ideas, and these ideas say this is cool, or that's whack, or he got swag, or he, and all these different things we start taking up on ourselves, and we start making these things a part of us. They say that we should be leaders, right? But in a sense, we always followers in some aspect or another. These tattoos I got, the goals, all that is a manifestation of me following something. I'm allowing the things around me to kind of shape my mind for me. But then when you get older, you start being told certain things when the parents say, boy, if I was young, I'd stay in school. Nothing you could have told me made me believe that was true words until I got older. And I wish I graduated. I never been to a prom. Never got to walk across stage. Now, as you're young to a certain extent, you might not look at it like it have any significance, but the experience of it, though, is something I can't have. I can't look back on. I'm not no yearbooks or nothing. I can't go, what you call it, when you get older, you go back home, some kind of, I can't even go none of that. Nobody know me from school. Where you know me from, you gonna know me from prison. If a person knows my whole name, that's probably where he know me from. If I know your whole name, that's probably where I know you from. Very few people know me from my childhood. It's because since I was a juvenile, I've been getting in trouble. I've been in and out of juvenile facilities. Let me tell you something. Here's the crazy thing about it. When you go, ain't no way you think you're going back. You don't ever want to go back. The first experience is a crazy experience. You're scared. You don't know if you're going to defend yourself. You done heard all kind of rumors. First time you go to prison, dude had you so hyped up in the counter, you don't know what to do. You would mess around until you hit the first person that say hi to you. He really just being cool. But they plant so many different ideas in your mind that you don't know what to believe no more. But all in all, my experience, I grew up. I had a mother and a father who gravitated to using drugs. One they used both, but one used one more than the other, and the other used the other more than the other. And they say in school that you can grow up with these kind of genetics or whatever, where you incline to kind of become addicted or whatever to something. But when you think about this whole thing with addiction, right? The problems, again, when we allow the things to influence us to get into something, in the sense of getting high or drinking, that, from my perspective, is us not being able to cope with reality. See, life gonna be full of problems and struggle. You can't get away from that. As long as you live, and you gonna go through something. They say that life had three phases in it. That you either in a storm, or you just coming out of a storm, or you headed to one. That's the cycle of life. Anytime you get to saying, man, but they don't understand, my world is, you trip. Because they say if everybody put their problems on the table, you'll snatch yours back in a heartbeat. Because you don't want that. Out of all the prison facilities I've been on, they put me on, right before I come home, I went on a medical facility. This is like a level 3 medical facility where everybody there got some kind of physical problem. I'm talking about, I seen a dorm roll that's a whole hallway section. When they call lunch, a whole hallway roll out in wheelchair. That is a crazy scene that people you've never seen before. And they rolling fast. You gotta get out their way. They run you over. They feel like they out there right. You got people who walk like they cripple and come to find these are those strokes. I ain't no stroke can do that to you. I mean, but overall, from that experience for me, what it made me do is realize how blessed I am to physically still have all my capabilities. See, a lot of times we get to looking at things that we don't have and become so ungrateful for what we got. You know, it is said to don't look at the individual who's standing up there. You say, look at the one behind him that's down there. Them the ones that keep you humble. See, for y'all really the one I'm talking to. My two sons and my niece. You know, all y'all my little brothers and sisters though. Y'all the main one I'm talking to. Because I don't know the situation or your life story. So I'm not going to say anything that takes it for granted. But for me, I was envious of it. When I say envious, not in a way to where I hate it. It's like I desired it though. For an individual I come across, and he had a home. To me, he had a home. A place that he can call his own, he can go in, he can go shower, take a bath, he can go to bed, he got some clean clothes to put on. His mama, you know, she for the most part, what I see, she's pretty sane. You know, she concerned about where he going. Baby, come here. Make sure he got something to eat. Clean clothes. He almost gonna have to do nothing. I want to trade places with this individual. I'm gonna tell you, I don't have no childhood friends because we moved around so much. When I was in 4th grade, we moved 9 times, and the only reason I know that because the principal at the last school told me that. And I ain't never forgot. I said, babe, what's wrong? Don't you know y'all moved 9 times this year? One thing I told my son was that you have around you cousins and I mean, you know, y'all have a close knitted family type thing going on. That's something to be grateful of. Because not everybody have that. That's right. So when you grow up without it, you start adopting family. That's my cousin. That's my cousin. And you'll reach to an extent to where you will argue people down about that not being your cousin. Hey, that's my cousin. That ain't good, but you don't get the point of what you believe. You done told yourself that so many times. And I want to say all this to say is that you have to be grateful for what you have. Because all that kind of stuff is leading to other things. Being ungrateful, not being able to cope with life and the little struggles and problems you come across with. I understand as we going through school, you hate going to new school because you got to reestablish yourself and you got to try to, you know, they say the bullying thing is real bad today, and you got, you know, it's just this whole identity thing. For a young person, you're trying to find out who you are. And you're trying to establish yourself as an individual, and you want people to know who you are. To where they don't bother you or meddle you or tease you. You're scared to be considered one of the smartest individuals there because it's not considered to be the coolest thing. So we want to be dummies and fools and jump around and be like Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz and Waka Flocka and a whole bunch of other people, you know. You know, I mean, and I trust me, I understand. I understand. I done been there with you too. I understand. And this is one of the main reasons why I say today, I feel like where my elders failed me is because when you told me no, don't do something, and I asked you why, you say, because I said so. Don't question me. To my sons, I try to explain everything to them. If I say don't do it, I'm going to tell you why. If I say you need to think about this and gravitate to it, I want you to have an understanding of why. Because an understanding of why you shouldn't do this over this is going to help you when you're on your own. Because we ain't going to be there to be able to say, don't do that. So when you out and about and have to make the decision amongst your peers who all saying here, you have the tools in your mind to say now. Because when you're not a dead, when you can't think, when you're not a creative thinker, and you just become instinctive in life with demands of you to a point to where your moves and your actions become instinctive. But if you haven't made the right choices long enough to where your right choice become instinctive, you're going to make the wrong choice. And the wrong choice, with any choice there's a result, but the wrong choice is going to cost you. I just done 14 years flat. State prison. I just got out in January. 14 years for possession of a firearm. Many people, they gave me 40 years for that. When I told people that, they was like, no, you shoot somebody? You rob somebody? They said, no. I was paying a deposit for a department. And the security seems in my back pocket. The only reason in my back pocket because I stayed in a motel room that night. And I was in a rental car and I was in a rush. I had everything on me. I don't want to defend myself. But there's more to it. I'm living a lifestyle that demanded that. So there's more to it. So my answer to this whole drug thing and trying to get us to the point where we can probably make better choices for ourselves is, I say one, you have to always realize that no matter what happened in our life, you have to first look at yourself and say, what part I played in that? That helps you get to an area of being responsible.
That's right, yeah, right, yeah.
Because it helps you make more conscious decisions or think about what you say or what you do before it actually happens. Many of us, including me, I know it's certain things I shouldn't do, but I do it. Why? You say, I'm crazy. No, it ain't that. I mean, in one sense, when you do something other than what you know is productive for your life, yeah, it could be. You could look at it like that. But the other reason I believe is that because we haven't trained ourselves in such a way to where, or I haven't trained myself in the way to where I need to be stronger. I allow myself to be weak in certain aspects. I know I shouldn't. And I know that whatever it is that I may be feeling indulged in is counterproductive for life. But it is after this last time in prison have I realized so many mistakes that I made. And I finally become in contact with the weight of the consequence. See, it was a lot of time I knew something was wrong. And I knew it was a possibility of me getting caught. But I couldn't connect myself to the weight of it though until after it happened. I'm saying like for the young people, what I mean is like when you do something wrong and your parent catch you and say, come here. Why you do it? And you already know what's coming. So you kind of get nervous and get the shifted and anxious and hesitant. And the next thing you know, because you have an instinctive thing in you for survival, God put that in you too. You'll start lying because you're trying to survive. Right? I'm laughing, but it's really serious. Because the problem finna get worse. Because here's the crazy thing about it. When we get to lying to our parents, we think our parents are fools. But the parents done lied and told many of the lies, and we done got to the point to where we even know the signs of what done happened. So we're only asking so that you'll be honest about it. And hopefully explain yourself. But more than anything, we want you to claim responsibility for what's finna go down. Because when you reach a point to where you really can claim responsibility, then from that point you can grow and you can evolve and may not create the same mistake. But if you haven't become responsible yet to the point to where you really understand where you went wrong, my 20 minutes about up. But I want to say in closing, again, man, we got to try to find out where, what part we played in our thinking, and that put us in a situation. I mean, sometimes we just don't even understand how we could have played a part in that. But even the choice to go this way, when I first thought to go that way, and something happened, it was a part of your thinking that done that. And if you can go to why I even went this way, probably 9 times out of 10, it was for a reason that you shouldn't win. Even though whatever happened, it had nothing to do with you, but you kind of reaping the penalty or the repercussions of it. But you still gotta look at the thinking. You gotta become a thinker. You gotta become a thinker, because thinkers are the only one winning in this world. How do we escape the thing about drugs, right? They asked Jesus in Matthew 22:37 about the greatest commandment in the law. And he said, thou shalt love the Lord with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. One thing about love is that it obligates you to do something. You can't love something that you don't become a slave to, or you don't become dutiful to. Everything you love, you begin to value it. You want to take care of it. You're concerned about it. So if we reach the point where we begin to love God like that, in our walk and things we say and everything that we do become conscious to the point to where I want to please Him with all this, then we become a slave to Him in that way. And that's the only thing is that's going to free us from being a servitude or slavery of anything else. So we say drugs, we close and we say drugs, but you can become addicted and a slave to anything. It can be food, it can be entertainment, it can be anything. But so it's like, what do I want to become a slave to? Try to find things that is conducive to life. Because anything other than that is going to bring about destruction upon you. Again, I thank you for listening to me, and I thank you for your patience.
This is addressed to any one of you who would like to speak on that. I often talk to my children about, my name is Ricky Childress. That's my brother. Yeah. I often talk to my children and other people about the reason that most of us who have used drugs continue using drugs, even though we can see, the effect it's having on our lives. And I often share with them, that hole inside of us, that we're trying to fill, and often others try to fill it with money, drugs, sex, whatever. And I just want to know, from your own experience or your own eyewitness experience, have you guys ever experienced that emptiness, and could you verbalize it in a way that I'm probably not able to explain that emptiness that you're trying to fill with drugs and things like that? And why do we continue to, even though we see the destruction, continue to put stuff like drugs in our bodies, seeing how it's destroying our lives, destroying our family, and things of that nature? I hope my question was clear.
All right. From my own perspective and experience, I would say that drugs are pretty much anything that we, become addicted to in an excessive way, and that thing can be more destructive than it is productive. That thing becomes more like a mate to the individual. While you was asking that question, I'm reflecting myself on the drug of choice that I had. Basically, acquired a somewhat love or devotion to, right? And what
continued to make me gravitate to it, right? And it was a thing to where I consider myself, for the most part, to be a solo individual where I've done a lot of things, you know, solely by myself for the most part. And again, I guess my high had become, again, my mate. You know, it allowed me to be able to really enjoy just me. You know, when I felt I wanted to be away from everything that was going on. You know, one of the things that I relate to is like, I was explaining to my son over here that like in prison, people drink coffee like all day, every day, all year round. It's hot as hot, it's cold as cold. For some people, they find like drinking coffee in the heat is abnormal, right? But I think in that, drinking coffee becomes a thing to where it somewhat breaks up the monotony of the environment. You know, you become somewhat, it becomes stable. And coffee seems to allows you to break that. Either gives you energy to kind of push forward and keep going. You know, maybe it's hard to understand on the basis, but I kind of look at that in the same sense. So I don't know if that answers your question.